It was the type of moment where nobody spoke. The cameras were rolling, and the entire set was frozen in place. Jasmine wasn't an unexpected guest. She didn't simply announce her pregnancy with Kirk's child. She took a direct aim at the target, this time. Rasheeda was still in shock over the loss when Jasmine gave her a sly smile and said, "You'll never be his wife again." Her tone was icy and arrogant, as if she had won something, as though she were donning Rasheeda's crown. And the internet went into meltdown mode the instant she said those words. Supporters cried out betrayal. Cast members were shocked. Rasheeda's shell stood there as if someone had just slapped her in the soul. This was no longer a fight. It was a full-scale conflict. And baby Jasmine arrived to complete her task. The studio lights were dimmed, but the tension was blinding. After everything, the leaked vows, the baby bombshell, and Rasheeda's exit. Producers thought the storm had passed. They were wrong. What happened next wasn't a breakdown. It was a takeover. Jasmine strutted into the confessionals room like she owned the entire set. No apologies, no hesitation. Her belly bump now slightly more visible, her hair sleek and straight, and that sharp pink blazer that screamed, "I'm the star now." The crew didn't even have time to mic her up properly before she leaned into the chair and whispered, "Y'all still crying over that man's old wife? I'm carrying his legacy now." Boom! Clip uploaded viral in 30 minutes. But the real chaos hadn't even begun yet. Backstage, Rasheeda had returned for pickups. Low-key eyes tired, hoodie up, and still processing the last emotional ambush. She didn't want drama. She just came to close her chapter professionally until she saw the screen. A monitor was playing Jasmine's unreleased confessional. And Rasheeda froze, her lips parted, her fists clenched, because that's when she heard the words that would set the whole Love and Hip Hop franchise ablaze. "You'll never be his wife again." The room went dead silent. Rasheeda just stared. A small hey escaped her lips, not laughter, but that dangerous kind of scoff women give right before the clapback of the decade without a word. She swung around, took the mic from a surprised PA, and marched directly into the studio set. Cut to the main stage. Jasmine was reclining, sipping from a nice Love and Hip Hop mug like she had something to celebrate. Carly, Red, and Spice were over to the side, whispering. Even Mona peeked from the production booth. Then the doors opened, and Rasheeda walked in, not crying, not trembling, glowing in rage like a woman who'd finally snapped. "Oh, shastisk tea," Spice muttered under her breath. Carly's jaw dropped. She came back. Jasmine turned her head slowly and grinned. Well, look who finally grew a backbone. Rasheeda walked straight up. No stalling, no fake TV delay, only heat. "I would never again be his wife," you declared. Rasheeda's voice was icy and piercing. "When you were still slipping in the back door, baby, I was the wife." The cast let out a gasp. The camera zoomed in. Jasmine sneered and sipped. "And now you're divorced while I'm pregnant. Full circle, huh?" Rasheeda didn't flinch. Pregnant don't equal priority. It equals responsibility. But you wouldn't know that. You're still playing side girl with main character delusions. Even the staff and the spectators went crazy. Jasmine got to her feet. "I'm not the side anymore." "No," Rasheeda shot back. "You're the distraction. Big difference. Boom. Mic check. Play with words. Deadly." Jasmine's grin dimmed. Coming from a lady whose hubby can't keep his zipper zipped, that's quite wealthy. Jasmine gave a smirk. "Sweetheart, he did more than simply sleep with me. Time and again, he made a decision. You simply continued to hide it. The wife wasn't you. The cleanup team was you." Oh. The entire set exploded. Mona gave a mouthful. "Continue to roll, Spice." She fanned herself, literally. Someone was about to swing, but Rasheeda didn't move. Carly murmured. She inhaled deeply. "I had a family to protect, so I covered his filth for years," he added, staring Jasmine in the face. "I remained faithful to the lie because I felt that I was leaving a legacy. But as soon as I saw you showing off a baby like it was a Birkin, I understood that the only person I've been treating disrespectfully is Jasmine, too," appeared momentarily shaken before crossing her arms and uttering, "Cute speech." But you're still unmarried. Rasheeda grinned, but it was that serene, frightful smile. Finally free and single, Jasmine went out, leaving her standing there momentarily uncertain, not the reaction she had hoped for. Instead of crumbling as she had hoped, Rasheeda departed stronger, more assertive, respected, and for the first time after a few hours, Rasheeda left with her dignity intact and her head held high. But Jasmine began to feel that she was no longer in charge. It was going to be another chaotic love and hip-hop moment, but the internet turned upside down once more. Videos of Rasheeda's confrontation with Jasmine went viral on social media, sparking a national conversation on self-worth, betrayal, and the tiniest clapbacks in TV history. Every platform. Instagram 3, TikTok 8, 9 million views in 5 hours. In the US, Twitter free Rasheeda was trending number 1, but 2 million Reels plays X. Jasmine couldn't help herself as usual and went live. Yes, live again, while seated. In her living room with a gentle, glamorous, you can trend all day, she smirked at the camera as her face, holding her belly, and drinking juice like nothing just imploded on national television. However, the truth is that he has chosen me, given me vows, and is now giving me a cry about it, baby. A commenter wrote, "But didn't he cry when Rasheeda left that too?" Another said, "You just got the boy, girl. Jasmine had the man, but Rasheeda had him. She wasn't finished." "Listen, I'm not here to debate with people who still think being the wife means anything," she said after reading the comments. "He was unfaithful. On that title all along. It was me who caught his eye. I now have his ancestry. For a period. Boom. It was a nuke of a line. However, it backfired badly as well. Oh, Rasheeda's fans weren't playing because of this. Within hours, an entire movement began. Our protect Rasheda were legacy and IN single quotes to lust. Our Kiner babies. 10 Fix Broken Men fan pages started digging screenshots of Kirk's old demise with other women, were reposted, leaked voicemails surfaced, including one from Kirk allegedly begging Rasheeda not to leave just 2 days after the Jasmine reveal, and the voicemail's voice is shaking, "I ain't got nobody like you. You built me. She just choose noise. Shay, please don't let this be the end." The internet was enraged by the leak. Celebrities began to respond as well. Sweetie commented, "Rasheeda to classy. I would have thrown a chair." Tamar Braxton said, "I'd rather be alone than share a man like that." Kick Palmer reposted Rasheeda's "I Choose Me" clip and added this the energy. All right. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Kirk was crumbling. He'd been forced to conduct a sit-down confessional to clean up the mess. He showed up late, eyes swollen, scarcely able to talk. "I never meant for it to go this far," he muttered to producers. "I didn't even know about the baby until after ... and by then, I was unaware that Jasmine would go through that much." Stuck. The producer bent over. "Have you ever had feelings for Jasmine?" Kirk paused. "I liked the attention. She made me feel powerful again. But love, nah, I only loved Rasheeda." And with that his face dropped. He knew it was too late, but the producers weren't done. They pulled out something no one saw coming. A third woman had stepped forward. An anonymous email had hit VH1's inbox titled, "I was with Kirk the night he gave Jasmine the vows." Attached were receipts, hotel bookings, an Uber screen, and a voice note of Kirk saying, "I gotta make it look real for the camera, but it's always been you." Boom! Game over! The entire narrative flipped again. Jasmine wasn't the only side. She was just the loudest. And Rasheeda. She'd been disrespected worse than fans ever imagined. Back at the studio, Mona slammed her hand on the desk. This ain't a show anymore. This is a war zone. And baby, she was about to turn that war into ratings gold. Backstage at the Lotto studio, things had gone from wild to full-blown chaotic. Jasmine had just gone live bragging about being the chosen one, claiming she now carried Kirk's legacy while the entire internet watched her illusion crack in real time. Because what Jasmine didn't know was that producers now had the third woman's receipts. And Mona, she wasn't holding nothing back. The very next day, Mona summoned Jasmine to the studio under the pretense of filming a clarity scene. Jasmine showed up wearing a lime green fitted dress, her bump outlined, nails sharp as claws, thinking she was about to shut the haters up once and for all. But instead, she walked into a chair, a camera, and a full dossier of receipts waiting for her. Have a seat, the producer said calmly. Jasmine raised a brow. This a reunion tease? The producer didn't smile. T slid the folder across the table. Inside a screenshot of Kirk booking a hotel on the same night he proposed his vows to Jasmine. A clip of Kirk's voice saying, "It's all for TV." A voice note from an unnamed woman saying, "He told me Jasmine was just a storyline." Jasmine flipped through the pages, her expression morphing from smug to stunned to straight-up furious. "What is this asterisk T?" she snapped. "This is what you didn't see while you were busy trying to replace Rasheeda," the producer said bluntly. Jasmine stood up, slamming the folder shut. Nah, I don't believe it. Kirk wouldn't. He already did," Mona said suddenly, stepping in from behind the curtain. You came in, swinging, Jasmine, but you swung for a man who was playing all of y'all. All of y'all." Jasmine's eyes filled with tears, but she wiped them quick, refusing to let the cameras catch her cracking. "You're lying," she hissed. "This is Rasheeda's doing. She's trying to destroy me." "No, baby," Mona said softly. "Kirk destroyed you." Cut to Rasheeda's Airbnb. She was sitting by the window sipping tea, going through her DMEs. Most of them were support thousands of fans telling her she inspired them to leave their toxic situations, that her strength gave them courage. But then she got a message that stopped her cold. "I was the other woman and I didn't even know he was married. I want to apologize." Attached photos, dates, more receipts. Kay lying selfie. Kirk lying shirtless in the same bed. E and Rasheeda once shared, laughing, flashing peace signs. Rasheeda's hand shook. She whispered to herself. He was still lying too, both of us. But instead of sobbing, she laughed. Not a happy smile, a risky one. The kind that says, "You've done turned a good woman into a brutal." 3 days later, Rasheeda posted a teaser clip on IG caption, "Y'all ready for my side of the story? Coming soon. Rasheeda, the wife, the conflict, the walkaway." The film showed her standing in front of her closet pulling out boxes, shoes, bags, photos, and a framed wedding photo she slowly placed into a burning fireplace. The comments blew up. "Oh, she ready. Are you ready? The rebrand fine historic. Jasmine shaking RN. That fire pit took me out. And guess who was watching that post over and over? Jasmine. She was back at her condo now, visibly fuming. Her phone rang. It was a blocked number. She answered thinking it might be press instead. A voice on the other end said, "You really thought you had it all, huh? Turns out you were just click, another plot twist." She looked at the screen, panting, and then grabbed her own phone and DM'd, Rasheeda. "You want to play fire with fire? See if you can handle the heat, Mrs. Ex-Wife." Mere hours after Rasheeda's savage teaser, clip dropped, that wedding photo melting into the hearth like a full decade of lies going up in smoke. The internet declared one thing: Rasheeda's era has begun. But Jasmine, oh, she wasn't about to let that shine last too long, because while the world was celebrating Rasheeda's rebirth, Jasmine was planning a whole ambush. Started with a flyer. Yep, an actual event flyer posted to Jasmine's story. Kirk Frostbab celebration coming soon, gender reveal, private rooftop party, all cast invited. Location undisclosed but filmed by VH1 tagline. Let the real wife step aside. Now is my season. The comments were very crazy. It must be a joke. Throwing a party for a man who cheated on her is really what it is. Secondly, no, this giving ... delusional. She just want to poke Rasheeda at this point. But the shock didn't end there. The same day, Rasheeda's production team acquired an anonymous item inside a USB stick labeled The Other Ring. It was raw film from the night of Kirk's secret proposal to Jasmine, but with audio no one had ever heard in it. Jasmine asks, "You sure this is real? You still seeing anyone else?" And Kirk responds, "Rasheeda, don't know a thing. I have this handled. You're the one I want in front of these cameras presently." Boom. The treachery wasn't only profound. It was calculated. Now Rasheeda, she didn't cry a tear. After seeing the video, she took a long breath and muttered, "So that's what it always is." Was a performance. She didn't scream, cry, or even call her mother. Instead, she summoned her hairdresser. "Get me something red. I'm heading to that rooftop." Fast forward to the night of the event. Jasmine had her party set out, in blue and pink LED lights. There was champagne. The skyline was covered with a vast banner of baby frost. The scene was crowded with camera crews. Kirk and the other cast members were uneasy. He appeared to be a man in his own right as he stood at the rear of the terrace, hands in his pockets, gaze down. Burial. However, Jasmine looked radiant, wearing all white, with her microphone turned on and a Grammy-winning smile. Tonight, we celebrate new beginnings, not drama, not the past, but the future. Kirk and I have a baby, he added, picking up the mic. The elevator doors then opened and Rasheeda entered, head high, wearing a blood-red outfit that said war. The audience let out a gasp. Cameras flew in all directions. Mona appeared astounded as well. Kirk became white. Jasmine blinked. Rasheeda interrupted her, holding up the USB in her palm and asking, "Hi, are you?" The DJ stopped the music and said, "I brought a gift since you like surprises." Rasheeda marched. Kirk's confession suddenly played aloud in front of everyone after he was led to the DJ booth, given the USB, and instructed him to play track 1. "Rasheeda, don't know a thing. I took care of this. I want you to be in front of these cameras. Right now. Quiet." Jasmine's glass fell. Kirk staggered ahead. "Hold on, that's over." Out of context. Rasheeda, however, had the last say. "You said I'd never be his wife," she said, turning to Jasmine and grinning. "Once more. However, you were never more than a plot point." She then left. No microphone. Rasheeda left Jasmine's gender reveal party like a red-clad Avenger with a USB, full of indisputable evidence, leaving her reputation in ruins and her heels on concrete. It wasn't just a mic drop. It was a career-defining moment. Every blog, every page, every meme account was eating it up. Rasheeda aired them out with receipts. Kirk just got exposed at his own baby's party. "You said, what? Jasmine? Never his? Wife again. Baby ... She wrote the book. But while Rasheeda was becoming a symbol of power and poise, Jasmine was crumbling. And fast out. The next morning, Jasmine posted a string of cryptic stories. Her crying on her bathroom floor, a now-deleted caption, "They never loved me. They just used me for a story." An unhinged text screenshot where she typed to Kirk, "You embarrassed me. You let her humiliate me." On camera, AGNIN. Kirk didn't respond publicly, but privately. He was facing a whole new storm from someone he couldn't ignore. His daughter, Kelsey Frost. The daughter who had remained mostly quiet. Through her father's cheating scandals in the past, finally spoke up. And it wasn't pretty. She called him. "You said you were done with this, Dad. You claimed you were repairing things with Mom, yet you out here lying to everyone again." Kirk sought to justify himself. "I didn't know she'd play that audio. Kelsey, that wasn't the plan. I didn't even recall saying half those things. You recall ENOUGH. She lost her temper. Had a wife, a daughter, a family. You chose to chase attention. Now you live with it." Kirk sat in silence, phone in hand, knowing the damage wasn't just on camera anymore. It was personal, deep, generational. Meanwhile, Rasheeda wasn't sitting still. She wasn't recovering in silence. She was rebranding loudly on her Instagram. She posted the official poster for her forthcoming documentary Exceptional Wife Warrior, Lady, executive produced by Rasheeda. Guest appearances, Candy Barouse, Yandi Smith, Remy Ma, streaming release date. Not as soon as you think. The fans were stunned. She have a whole series coming, and she brought sweets. "Yeah, Jasmine can't breathe our finish. This ain't a comeback. This is a takeover." And just to add fuel to the fire, she uploaded a teaser, footage of her in studio working on a brand new tune. The lyrics were leaked. "I put on the ring, the scars were worn. I'm flexing beyond your filthy bars right now. You provided a baby for her. I bestowed a crown upon you. However, when queens step down, kings fall heavily." Jasmine was melted by the internet. It was getting out of control as she saw everything happen on her phone. Producers told her she wanted to meet with Rasheeda on camera. "One final conversation," she wrote. Rasheeda hit decline, but Mona authorized it right away. After posting a tale with the words, "I finished sharing the microphone," At last, nightfall had arrived. The documentary debut of Rasheeda. Downtown Atlanta was decked out in a slick black and gold carpet. Celebrities pulled up, paparazzi queued up, Rasheeda as well. She got out of an SUV that was matte black, wearing a glistening floor-length gown with the words "Wife, Warrior, Woman" embroidered on it. Cameras blinked like lightning. Her glamorous group had surpassed themselves. Her aura is indestructible. Jasmine wasn't on the guest list, so behind the glamour and elegance, a tempest was building. However, she was on her manner. The atmosphere within the arena was tremendous. The VH1 cameras were in motion. Insiders in the industry were murmuring. Rasheeda is having her moment. The lights went down. The commencement of the A documentary was shown. Black and white video of Rasheeda's wedding was narrated by her voice. K. Her treachery. Her tears. With embarrassment, they attempted to hush me. I'm still here. Stronger, louder, and more genuine than the chaos they attempted to replace me with. Backstage, the audience exploded. Before a security guard entered, Rasheeda's group was having a party, whispering, "She's here," he said. Backstage area. Relax, she. You already spoke, Jasmine, but this ain't your mic anymore, Caseman remarked, staring Jasmine in the face. Jerked back. You left him with me and walked away, acting as though you were superior to me. Rasheeda's grin dimmed. While you gather sympathy, I'm raising his child. She moved forward, murmuring loud enough to be heard by all. Additionally, you will raise that child with the knowledge that their father was never yours in the first place. I told you his falsehoods. I remained silent. Boom. A dot. The audience let out a gasp. Security caught Jasmine before she could make a move. One of the heels flew off. A camera dropped, and don't cut. This is Emmy-worthy, Mona whispered to her assistant as she stood in the corner. Unfazed, Rasheeda returned to the ballroom. The documentary's last scene, which saw her leaving her former home, was now displayed on the television. Slow motion of a wedding band falling on the sidewalk. Then, everyone was taken aback by the film's last 5 seconds. A startling voiceover began. Rasheeda was the one. Calm, lucid, and strong. When it's over, some ladies cry. I grinned as I had at last recalled who, before I ever said I do, I was. Diminished to dark. In an instant, Rasheeda didn't merely end a chapter, she was scorched. The entire book, and penned a fresh one. Jasmine attempted to take center stage. However, Rasheeda changed the entire plot into her lap of success. No malfunctions, no absolute, unadulterated growth, strength, and presence. Kirk was left to bear the burden. His behavior, revealed by his daughter, forgotten after being discarded by his wife. By the culture. The legacy of Jasmine might be Rasheeda's, but a baby. Its emotion, a reminder and sign that true queens avoid competing with disorder. They emerge from it. This is referred to be the greatest among fans. Change in the history of hip-hop and love. Additionally, Rasheeda's method of doing it using fire and grace, it's a master. So stay tuned and subscribe, pay attention, and maintain eye contact because when Rasheeda appears on screen,